Tarot. My name is Carmen. Today we have a reading for you about somebody who falls in love at first sight. And I feel like it gets a little bit carried away. We have from the Poe Tarot the Knight of Wells or the Knight of Cups, which says, as a thing of art, nothing could be more admirable than the painting itself. But it could have been neither the execution of the work nor the immortal beauty of the countenance, which had so suddenly and so vehemently moved me. And we also have the Death card. The boundaries which divide life from death are at best shadowy and vague. Who shall say where the one ends and where the other begins? So I do feel like we have someone who has fallen in love at first sight, or maybe they were at a distance from this person and they've kind of like created this fantasy in their mind of what it would be like to be with this person. But with this death card, there is something that seems to be separating these two or making it seem like perhaps this romance will never happen. So I feel like we have a little bit of desperation. I feel like maybe we have somebody who is not being honest with themselves about what the other person might be feeling. So we could actually be talking about obsession instead of love. Hello, Kevin. How are you doing? Hello, James. I hope you're having a good one. Let me know if you want me to pull some cards for you, James. Let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And if you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. You can find that in the description box, along with more information on how to become a member, as well as how to find that cool t-shirt I was wearing the other day, and how to find my Etsy shop if you are interested in a homemade soy candle. That sounds good, James. I do still have to post the short, so don't you worry. I will. I feel like we still need just a little bit more candlelight. All right, that should help. All right, so let's dive in. What are we going to use? We're going to go with the Metamuse. All right, tell me more about this falling in love at first sight. Hello, Holy Smoke, how you doing? So we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Prince of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands in the reverse, and the Six of Swords. Okay, so this is somebody who falls in love too fast because they fall in love with somebody based on how they look, and also I feel like they're on vacation, or maybe they're interviewing in town, maybe they're visiting their uncle. But this is like the movie Grease. Summer love. So we have someone who's worried because even if they do invest everything into this relationship, there is an expiration date or a deadline. Somebody who, I don't know, has to catch like a flight or start the journey back home because they don't actually live there. Hello, Jamaica. How are you doing? Hello, Shu. What's up? Congratulations. What else do we have? Empress in the reverse, Three of Swords, and the Five of Cups in the reverse. We have someone who doesn't want to go home, someone who feels like they would not be able to find this type of attraction or this spiritual connection if they leave. So with the Five of Cups in the reverse, this looks to me like somebody who is deciding, well, what if I just like move here? What if I don't go back to where I come from? What if I just, put up shop here and we could be together? Hello, Lemonade. What's up? Hello, Ultra. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm going to put you in just a little bit of a timeout because we are not about the fire and brimstone here or, judging people's beliefs. But, maybe we could still be friends if you wanted to set that aside. We've got the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse and the Princess or Page of Wands. Uh-oh. Okay, so this is the problem. We have like a summer romance or a vacation romance, and one person is like, no, if we only have like a couple of days to hang out, that's fine. I wasn't looking for anything serious anyways. But the other person, the one that they're dealing with, is like, when do we get married? Uh-oh. So differing opinions on what should happen after the vacation is over, or whether or not there is a future for this connection. Yeah, so this King of Pentacles does not have to be a man, by the way. This is someone who initially, approached this as, you're really fine, that would be great, let's hang out. And then they fall in love. They start, coming up with some expectations or daydreaming about a long-term connection. But the person that they have fallen in love with, they are not on board. They don't want the same thing. This is like, oh, no, I'm fine with it being like a long weekend and then adios, What else do we have? Six of Wands and the Four of Swords. So we have a differing of opinion. One person is okay with going back to, their life as it was before. And this King of Pentacles is like, no, I've found what I want and I'm not leaving. Or, I want a long-term relationship. I want us to get married and stuff. But their beloved is not interested. This is someone who feels like they still want to sow their wild oats, or they're not ready for such a serious commitment, and they never really promised to have that kind of commitment to begin with. So I think we're going to have an awkward conversation here. This is the Fable Makers Tarot. Did I say hello to Bobby? Hello, Bobby. What else do we have? It's a really tall stack of cards. Hello, Erin. How are you doing? Six of Coins, which is the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Wow, lots of earth energy here. The Two of Coins, or Two of Pentacles in the reverse. And the Nine of Swords. I think we stirred up, have somebody who's like, I don't know, I feel like I would regret it if I went home or if I stopped seeing you, so how about we get married? And their person says, married? No, absolutely not. I'm single and I would like to stay that way. I'm not ready for that kind of commitment. I'm too young. And it breaks the heart of the King of Pentacles. So they feel like they've found the person they want to spend their life with, and the person they want to spend their life with is like, I'm good. No, thank you. I don't feel like there's anything else that we need to be talking about or pursuing. So, rejected. Page of Cups in the reverse. So they are just looking at it as this is just like, a little bit of fun. I have no plans on being in a committed relationship, or at least not with you. Let's get a few from the Spellcasters Tarot. Yes, lots of earth energy. Exactly. Hey, William, that's kind of a weird question to ask first thing in the live chat. Would you care to explain why that's something you should ask? Maybe I should make some popcorn. Just my personal opinion, but probably some other people's opinion as well. Maybe start with like introducing yourself. And then maybe just like don't ask people what their sexuality is. It's a weird look. What else do we have? We've got the Nine of Cups, Seven of Swords in the reverse, and the Page of Swords. Yeah. So the confession time where the King of Pentacles is saying, you know, I would like to be married or I think we should be together, is met with the very confident rejection from the Empress. The Empress is like, nah, I'm good. I would like to just like be on my own. Thanks though. What are the question marks for, James? And we've got Two of Cups, Eight of Wands in the reverse, and the Fool. The Empress is already like decided on this. This was just like a weekend of fun. This was just like a little entertainment. But I'm not interested in, you know, getting married or moving in with each other or dating. I think the Empress has decided, like, you know, it's fine if you have to go home. I wasn't really planning on a long-term relationship, and I really like being single. Aw, I think I scared him. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? I think you can trust your intuition a little more than that. Hello, Fuzz. How are you doing? We have the Five of Swords, the Hermit, and Death. So this connection is headed towards an ending. And I feel like that's how the Empress always figured it would be. The Empress does not need to be a woman, by the way. But we have some not so great emotions coming from the King of Pentacles because they had already, you know, dreamed up this whole life they were going to have. And now it's over. Now there's like no desire from this other person to continue to see each other or, you know, plan a reunion. It's just, bye, thanks for the fun. Hello, Destiny, how are you doing? That sounds like a lot of work, Matt. Ooh, but the rainbow would be worth it. Double rainbow? What does it mean? What does it mean? Sorry. That's not going to be a reference that everyone gets. Judgment in the reverse and the Three of Swords in the reverse. So this King of Pentacles is now feeling like they have completely misunderstood this person. I think we have an angry energy coming through. Like, I thought you actually like cared about me. I thought I had actually found love. I thought I had found this connection that would mean a lot. And then you're just like not into it. The Nine of Swords in this case, in the reverse, this is like I was expecting some positive response to telling you I want to stay, and instead you're like, oh, no, it's fine if you leave. In fact, I was like, I was actually going to go on another date. Sorry. This truth is like a punch to the gut for the King of Pentacles. Maybe they even find out that there is somebody else in the picture, or no, I plan on staying single. I don't see myself ever getting married, so sorry. And the King of Pentacles jaw drops and they're like, what? Like I thought that we actually had some sort of special connection here. I thought you cared about me. And the Empress is already moving on, already thinking about or even talking about possibly this next connection they want. This is not somebody who's looking for a long-term relationship. They don't have those same lovey-dovey feelings. All right, let's see what else we have. This is the Cats Rule the Earth. Thank you, Lacey. I'm glad you get it. I hope you're having a good night. And Matt got it too. Yay. Hello, Johnny. That's not really a great use of my time. And the only Portuguese I know is muito bem. What else do we have? Pero yo hablo español, entonces si entiendes español, posiblemente funciona. ¿Está bien? They're like pretty similar, right? Una combinación de... is it francés? Is that how you say French and Spanish? Español? Y español? What else do we have? Eight of Wands in the reverse. Six of Cups. Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Again, I'm not interested in that long-term relationship or even like a short-term relationship. I feel like this is just like not even up for discussion. Now this King of Pentacles is feeling like they've wasted their time. They've gotten their heart broken. They might be sitting at the bar. Yeah, I think we have a broken heart. Someone who feels like they've been misled by this Empress. Someone they thought they could spend their life with, but instead, this is someone who's determined to stay single. Hey, Johnny, no. The subtitles happen for live streams afterwards. And I'm sorry you don't like my stream. We have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. I think we have someone losing their temper. This King of Pentacles feels like they've been like bamboozled. Feels like they've been kind of lied to by this Empress. I don't know if that's true. I think we have someone who kind of got expectations and got a little bit too fixated on someone without actually having the conversation about those emotions, right? Like, why didn't you tell me that all you thought this was going to be was a couple of weeks or even less, like just a long weekend that I'm here? I think this King of Pentacles was a little bit, it's like they lied to themselves. Sometimes we look at interactions with other people and we see what we want to see. And I think this King of Pentacles was kind of like looking for a reason to feel like this Empress was in love with them or feeling the same feelings. But they're wrong. They believed what they wanted to, or they saw what they wanted to. And this Empress is like, no. Like from the beginning, I told you, I'm not looking for that long-term connection. I'm not like the one to get into a relationship. I'm certainly not the one to get married. So I think we have some tensions flaring, some anger hitting the room. Hello, Tito. How are you doing? I'm glad you liked it, Matt. Have an awesome day, James. What else do we have? Page of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the reverse. So I made this offer, and the person that I made this offer to is not interested. They're like, no, you were fun to like hang out with for a couple of days, but let's be real. I am not the type of person that you take home to introduce to your parents. I'm not interested in moving into a house and getting a white picket fence. So this Empress, again, does not have to be a woman, is someone who's saying, I've got other things that I'm working on. Wow, the Seven of Swords is clarifying the Seven of Swords. So I think we have someone who doesn't want to hear this truth. Doesn't want to hear that the object of their affection is not in love with them. And part of the issue was at the outset, they weren't really listening either. I don't feel like the Empress misled them. I feel like they just kind of looked at it as, well, we have like an expiration date because you have to go home or I have to go home. Why would you think there was going to be a relationship? I'm quite comfortable with being on my own, and I was really just here for the O's. Sorry. I do feel like this was about the physical intimacy for the Empress. This is someone who feels like they're fine on their own. We have the Five of Wands and the Empress. So there's an argument that breaks out. Like, you didn't have to lie to me. You didn't have to be, like so hurtful about it. Don't you think we would have a happy relationship? And I feel like the Empress laughs or minimizes the time that they spent together and things escalate. But it can be boiled down to some unrealistic expectations from this King of Pentacles. We have the King of Cups and the King of Swords. I feel like these are other interested individuals. So we could even have someone who made it clear that they don't like monogamy. Maybe they're more interested in polyamory or, having a roster. But this King of Pentacles was like tuning that out or didn't really want to believe it. I'm glad to hear it, Tito. Let's see what else we've got from the latest. The newest Oracle deck is called Dead Inside. It has a bunch of cute skeletons on it, so of course I love it. What else do we have? Over-explaining everything. anxiety, insecurity, and rambling. This is our King of Pentacles. Thought it was a vibe. Red flags, fantasy, false hope. They thought this was going to go for months or years. They thought this was the love of their life, and now they're realizing it was all in their head. It was a false hope. They let themselves get carried away. Opened third eye, saw email. Digital interference, inner conflict. We've got, with the Empress individual, the person who would like to stay single, there is some insight that they have, and I feel like it's, this is what I want, or this is what works for me, and I'm not going to let other people talk me into doing things their way. So, of course, that could be their preferences regarding relationships, but it could also be that we have someone else expressing their interest, and that could be what ultimately starts an argument between these two. But this digital interference could also be, like a friend offering advice. Either way, we have someone who thought they were headed to, like, hey, maybe we're going to get married. And the other person's like, no, I don't think so. I never said that. And that's not what I want. Manifesting sleep. So we have spiritual fatigue, wishful thinking, and burnout nap. Wishful thinking is from that King of Pentacles. They were really thinking that they'd found the one and this was going to turn into a long-term relationship. And remember at the beginning, I saw over-explaining, but I thought it said overthinking. Well, here we have the one that actually says overthinking. Can't sleep, might spiral, emotional overload. So this person creates connections or sees emotions where there are none. And it could be because they are feeling a bit lonely. It could be because they really did look at this Empress as their dream partner, but they weren't being honest with themselves about what the signs were that the Empress was giving. The fact that they were pretty clear that they weren't interested in anything serious. They were just having a little bit of fun. And yet our King of Pentacles didn't want to face that truth. I do feel like the Empress made that clear. They just didn't want to hear it. So now we have this King of Pentacles connecting with a friend. And I feel like that friend is saying, no. I think it's probably for the best that the two of you are not in a relationship. This is someone who doesn't want to be committed or doesn't want to be in a monogamous relationship. It's best that you just kind of like get over it. They're trying to be protective of their friend, but this King of Pentacles seems to be unwilling to admit the truth. They still feel like there should be some way to get a serious relationship out of this Empress. We've got financial support and obsession. But in order to pursue a connection or a relationship with the Empress, there would be a lot that needs to change. Needs to find a new job, find a new place to live, or change, how they spend their money. Maybe they even have a kid back home. But I feel like this close friend or perhaps family member is like, what are you doing? That's not going to work. Let's be realistic here. You can't just up and move for somebody like that. And this is somebody who doesn't want a serious relationship anyways. So they're trying to talk their friend into being a little bit more realistic. All right, let's get a few from the romantic Lenormand. What else do we have? Hello, Cavante. How are you doing? So we have the woman, which is number 28. Oops, sorry, 29. So I do feel a lot of this is based on looks. So we have someone who fell in love maybe at first sight or feels like this is exactly the type that I would want to end up with. This is the kind of person I want to start a family with. I want this serious relationship, but things got too fast or got too serious too fast. And we have the heart. With the moon. They want what they can't have. They didn't want to believe the boundaries, or they ignored when this Empress said, no, I'm not looking for something serious. Just gotta chill with that. Because this Empress is focusing elsewhere or is not interested in that type of relationship. This is the Love Oracle. What else do we have? Conflict, clashing, differences, incompatibility, and bluff, pretending, mask, exaggeration. They are incompatible because they want different things, and this Empress is not looking to settle down. So the King of Pentacles basically took comments said by the Empress and like added a little bit of frosting to it, right? Added a little bit of what I really hope they said was that they're falling in love with me, or they wish I was never going to leave. But the truth was they were looking the other way or ignoring the things that the Empress would say that made it clear that they did not want something committed. They just wanted a little bit of fun. Maybe even said that, part of the reason I can't be in a relationship right now is because I know I would just kind of push you away anyways. Or maybe I'm a little bit incapable of getting into a committed relationship right now because I'm still getting over a previous connection. Whatever the case is, I think the Empress told the King of Pentacles, I'm not here for, something committed. If that's what you're looking for, then you might want to go somewhere else. So it takes intervention from a close friend of the King of Pentacles before that's like seen as the truth. Because they wanted this so badly. I feel like a lot of it has to do with admiring someone's physical appearance. And real talk, it's real great when somebody is physically attractive, but like what else do they bring to the table? Because at a certain point, everybody loses that. Are you still going to be able to have incredible conversations? Is there respect between the two of you? Do you make each other more curious about what the world has to offer? This feels to me like someone who fell in love at first sight, and a lot of it is just about how attractive that person is and wanting to be wanted, which is nice and all, but there should be more than that. Hello, Ty. How are you doing? Yes, I think that's probably fair, Erin, but I would also just say, even though I don't agree with the approach, I do feel like this Empress was honest about it. Maybe we don't resonate with the let's have a roster, but I do think that this is someone who said, I'm not looking for anything serious. Is it Tilly or Tilla? If you'd like me to do a personal question for you, you are welcome to add it to a super chat. Uh-oh. Lemonade is on to you. Hello, Mikey. How are you doing? This is the untold messages of the heart. I can't be tied down right now. I have too many interests. That's what the Empress said. I feel like I've lost you and I'm not coping well with it. The King of Pentacles let things get too serious in their mind, even though the Empress was not interested. I need to take a step back because I'm still trying to figure out what I want. Something or someone is standing in between us right now. I do feel like there's other people that are wanting to take out the Empress or have expressed interest. Big happy changes are coming when you least expect it. You are the one, the only one. And I want this so badly, but I'm afraid of getting hurt, so I self-sabotage. I do think that the Empress is likely avoiding relationships for practical reasons, but also because there could be a fear of having their heart broken. But they are not looking at this connection the same way. And they're starting to feel like maybe this King of Pentacles is actually codependent. Oh, I think I know what's going on here. Thank you, Lemonade. What else? Please accept my apologies so we can move past this. The Empress is apologizing. Like, I'm sorry that you want something more, or I'm sorry if, you were thinking that's where this was headed. But they said, I can't be tied down right now. I got too much going on. The feelings I have for you overwhelm me, so I run away to process them. This King of Pentacles has this anger and also love or perhaps obsession. And it's upsetting to hear that this Empress doesn't return those feelings. So I do feel like the intensity gets the best of them. And this is the Gypsy Oracle. Yes, exactly. For self-discovery. Well, hey, sorry you feel that way, Walter, but it's actually not your decision. Nope, I do not, Mikey. So we've got Servant. Will. Hold on, I just threw them all on the ground. So joining Servant, we have the Journey card and the Young Woman. Doesn't have to be that it's a young woman, but I do think the youth element is part of it. This Empress is looking at it as, I'm not ready to, be committed and have all that responsibility. And if they were the one traveling, then they're saying, I got other places to travel to. If the King of Pentacles is traveling, then the Empress is like, I'm not moving there, and I don't think you should move here. The King of Pentacles is looking at the Empress as basically having led them on. But the Empress told them they weren't interested in that. So we have a very emotional response, some intense frustrations, and I do feel like this King of Pentacles feels like they want to get some sort of like petty revenge. Like, fine, be that way. I'm going to steal your favorite shoes and take them with me. They want to do something to upset this person because they feel like it's only fair if their heart got broken. Hello, Zephyr. How are you doing? Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Hello, Ty. Are you referring to the person in the reading? Just curious, asking for science. I do think that there's other people that are expressing interest in the Empress, and this could lead to an argument. This could lead to some jealousy and anger. This is the Kipper. How's it going, Kenneth? I hope you're having a good night or a good day, whatever it is for you. So we have occupation, which is number 34, and the main male. Someone who wants to focus on their work. This is the Empress, by the way. This is why we don't pay too close attention to the gender. The Empress has a lot of goals, maybe they're a business owner. Maybe they have, a very busy schedule. This is why they set expectations with the King of Pentacles that they weren't going to be able to offer some committed relationship. There is an age difference here. And I think because the Empress is particularly successful, this King of Pentacles felt like, okay, well, you've achieved that. So now why wouldn't you want to be in a relationship? Looks like you have high honor. It looks like you have, saved up some money and achieved some things. So like, why wouldn't you want to like get married and have a family now? They're just assumptions that have been made by this King of Pentacles. Again, doesn't have to be a man. And when they get rejected, they feel shocked because they thought that they understood what this person would probably want for that next chapter. But Empress ain't having it. Not looking for that committed relationship or exclusivity. So it's like they're kind of like kicking out the King of Pentacles. Like if you want that committed relationship, you probably need to go find somebody else because I'm good on my own. Little bit awkward. But again, if somebody tells you that they're not interested in a relationship, if someone tells you that they enjoy having a roster, then I guess believe them. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for hyping if you're able to. And I will see you on